Hello and welcome to our latest edition of the Tiger News Network. I am Logan Dove along with Kaylee Goodman, and we are your lead anchors for this special political edition of Tiger News.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Goodman, and for the episode's top news story, our very own Dr. Jamie Burkhart has announced her retirement from education after 5 years serving our local community. On behalf of Greenridge Schools and the Tiger News team, I would like to congratulate Dr. Burkhart in many years of service for many great things she has done for our district. You will be missed.
In other Greenridge political news, 3 of our long-standing Greenridge board members have announced they will be retiring after this term and will not seek re-election. Those members include Bob Stone, who has served the Greenridge School Board for 6 years, Kenny Ollison, who has served 6 years, and Barry White, who has served for 12 years. We here at the Tiger News Network would like to thank these 3 men for their many years of dedication to the Greenridge School District.
With 3 board members retiring, this has opened the door for 3 new board members. The local community has had several people announce their candidacy for the open positions. We reached out to these members for interviews, and many were happy to volunteer their time to speak with our reporters. First up, we have Jacob Tyler, who met with Tim Carter for a one-on-one interview. Over to you, Jacob.
Thanks, Kaylee. I'm here with Tim Carter, who's running for the school board. Thank you for being here, Tim. So first, let me ask you, what motivated you to run for the school board?
Well, we've been involved as a family with the community for a while. As you know, you are the last class that I coached in junior high. I coached here at Greenridge, junior high boys basketball for about 7 years. So got a lot invested in the community. My wife's an alumni of Greenridge. We've got a lot of family in the area. And both our boys are going to be attending Greenridge. So I want to give back to the community and help contribute to this great district that we have.
All right. What do you see as the major responsibilities of the Board of Education?
As the board, we work to help oversee the district, set policies, make sure that things are on the right track record and go in the right direction. We work hand in hand with the superintendent, who really is in charge of dealing with the business of the district and running things. And we're there for oversight and to help set policy and make sure that we're there to help be a liaison for the community. If there's issues that arise and there's concerns, they would bring that to the board, and the board could help work those things out and really keep the district moving in the right direction, setting goals for years to come, strategies, and all that really works with the superintendent, who ultimately is, steering the ship.
Yeah. What do you see as the major issue facing public education?
There are quite a few issues on the horizon. Probably the biggest issue that we're going to be facing very soon is school choice. In the Missouri Senate and the House this year, there are a lot of legislations being pushed to bring in school choice that could ultimately allow families to pick where their student would go, and then that funding that would normally come to this district would follow them to other districts. So as we look ahead, we need to be looking to make ourselves more competitive. We have a great district. I don't really have any complaints with our district, and there's a lot of opportunities out there for us to kind of seize on those changes and draw in more students. Our facilities have a lot of room for expansion. As far as our utilization, we've got room for students to come in, which would help increase funding, help us to provide better programs, better pay for teachers, and we're going to need those things to be competitive in the years to come to maintain, just the greatness of Greenridge and to help improve on that.
All right. Are there any specific initiatives you plan to pursue if elected?
I don't have any specific initiatives. The big thing, I think, is just looking towards the future and improving on what we have. There are a lot of great things about Greenridge. We're a tight-knit community. We're a very strong community that support each other. We need to maintain that, but we also need to capitalize on that to hopefully draw in more students and families to the district to help make this an even better place.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Carter. Back to you guys in the newsroom.
Thanks, Jacob. Now we're going to send it over to Molly Mihalovich, who is with Tegan Tucker.
Thanks, Logan. I'm here with Tegan Tucker, another candidate running for Greenridge Board of Education. Thank you, Ms. Tucker, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, on to questions. What motivated you to run for school board?
Well, I have been on the PTO since 2014 when my oldest daughter was in kindergarten. I've done lots of volunteering through that, so I just kind of felt like the next logical step in serving was to join the board.
What do you see as a primary responsibility of the Board of Education?
The board has lots of responsibilities. They are in charge of kind of overseeing the budget, the school and the grounds, the administration, and just making sure that the school and its employees have what they need to get their jobs done.
Alrighty. What do you see as the major issue facing public education?
As a whole, teachers are obviously a concern. It's getting harder and harder to find teachers and then retain them once they get here. I know that's something that Greenridge has kind of faced, especially in the last few years. And also budgets for small schools are always an issue.
Yeah.
Trying to find revenue that we can use.
Are there any specific activities you plan to pursue if elected?
I don't know that there's necessarily any one thing. Like I said, teachers and budgets are always in the forefront. Looking at different strategies to attract teachers, different incentives to get them to stay, different ways to supplement budgets through grants, things like that. That's something I think that the board as a whole is always looking at, but that's something that I want to kind of focus on as well.
And how can the community learn more about your campaign?
I don't know that I necessarily have an actual campaign. It's a small community I've been around. People kind of know who I am.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been involved with the school. Like I said, through the PTO, I've learned a lot and gotten to build some relationships with the staff, the teachers, the administration. Just using those skills to help tackle problems that the board has if I'm elected. But the main thing is just everybody has to vote. I know it's a small community, so every vote really does count.
Yeah.
So that's about it. But
Alrighty.
thanks for having me.
Well, good luck with your upcoming election. And once again, thank you
Yep.
for joining us
I
today.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Molly. Last up, we will send it over to Kelsey Buxton, who is standing with Laura Weisenberger.
Thanks, Kaylee. I'm here with Laura Weisenberger, another prospective candidate for Greenridge School Board. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
We'll just get started with the questions. What motivated you to run for school board?
So, quite honestly, I'd had several people ask me if I would ever consider it. And at first, it wasn't something that I had a lot of interest in. But then the more I got to thinking about it, I really am invested in this community. And I don't know if everybody or how many people know this, but my children go to school here, and with them being students at this school, it's third generation. So my mom went to school here, I went to school here, and now my children are going to school here. And being a part of the school board, it would help to ensure the success of the organization, of the school as a whole moving forward. That's why I want to do it. That's why I got interested in it. And just how can I help make a difference and make an impact?
Cool. What do you see as the primary responsibilities of the Board of Education?
Every board member should have the students or the stakeholders number one. That is the number one interest. That is why we're here. We are here to make decisions that are for best the students, the teachers, the community at whole. That is where it should always be.
Absolutely. What do you see as the major issue facing public education?
So with public education right now, we just have entered into an era where there's such unique, diverse needs, right? There is no one type of student, one type of learner, one way to teach. Mm-hmm. And so I feel that it is really important to make sure that all of our teachers have the resources that they need, that they feel that they are supported by their administration, right? How can we take what students need and give them that? That's part of taking Greenridge and propelling it to the next level. We want to be that school that parents want their students, their kids to go to. We want to be that school where teachers want to teach.
Definitely.
Make sense?
Yes.
Like that's, yeah.
I agree.
And I think, people are so mobile that they can go anywhere if they want to, and so how do we keep them here?
Yes. And do you have any way to campaign here?
So I'm not necessarily campaigning. I'm not throwing out campaign signs. I'm not, utilizing social media. But, I want to talk to people face to face, and I want my reputation to kind of speak for itself. I've been a nurse for almost 17 years, so I'm not afraid of hard work. I currently working as interim director of perioperative services at the hospital, so I'm not unfamiliar with business aspects, multitasking, managing systems, processes, and I'm not afraid to look at things from different perspectives, a different angle, and ask questions, So there's not any hidden agenda that I have other than I want to serve the district and just be a voice and look at things from a different perspective.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up the interview. And thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelsey. Next up, we have Maddie Mergen interviewing Barry White. Barry announced his retirement from the local school board after serving for 12 years.
Hello, I'm Maddie Mergen, here with longtime Greenridge board member Barry White, who has decided to retire at the end of this term. Thank you for being here with us today, Mr. White.
Thank you for having me.
All right. How long have you served on the board?
I've been on for this will be my 12th year. I'm finishing up today, or this next month.
What have you enjoyed most about serving the district?
I've enjoyed getting to meet the administrators, the staff, the students. I'm really proud of what we've accomplished in terms of fixing the school, the additions, we had when I started we had no air conditioning in the gyms, the cafeterias, everything was hot. We had heat days in the summertime still. Now we have air conditioning in the cafeterias and the big gyms, all new air conditioning in the classrooms, new roof on the building, new floor in the gymnasium, new bleachers. I'm just proud of everything that we've done over the last 12 years.
Yeah. What initiatives or accomplishments are you most proud of accomplishing while serving?
I think the 3 bond issues that I've been part of. When I first started, we had to pass 1 bond issue for $650,000, which is not very exciting because we had to put all new concrete in all the classrooms in the elementary wing, but it had to be done. It's got that fixed. The second one, we did the air conditioning in the gyms, the cafeterias. And this last one was the one I'm most proud of. We really redid the whole school. New flooring, new paint, new doors, new roof was really important, new air conditioning. I believe we made the school as best we can at this point right now, I think.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. On behalf of Greenridge School District, thank you for the many years of service.
All right, thank you.
All right, back to you guys in the newsroom.
Thanks, Maddie. Next up, we'll have Evelyn Elwood interviewing Katie Tucker.
Thanks, Kaylee. I'm here with Katie Tucker, another prospective candidate for Greenridge School Board. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me.
Thanks for having me.
So, what made you decide to run for school board?
I've been going to school board meetings since 2020, and now that I understand the processes and procedures that come along with that, we have a little one that's in kindergarten, so I kind of thought this would be a good time to put my skills to use and bring some fresh perspective to the board and to the school and the community.
What do you see as the primary responsibilities of the school board education?
So the Board of Education is the legislative body that kind of speaks for the voters of the community and helps pass things like policies, procedures, helps guide the administration. And so they kind of do a little bit of everything, but a lot of it is just representing the voice of the community.
What do you see as the major issue facing public education?
So a lot of the issues on a broad scale in the United States, there's safety issues, funding issues, staffing issues. A lot of that doesn't apply here necessarily. Safety would be something that I would want to work on to improve here. But on a broad scale, like I said, safety, staffing, funding, things like that.
Are there any specific initiatives you plan to pursue if elected?
I would really like to bring back a preschool program. We had one at one point, an early childhood education program, and I would really like to focus on safety and maybe getting an SRO in school and updating our safety policies. So those are a couple things I'm passionate about.
How can the community learn more about your campaign?
I do have a Facebook page, so I'd encourage you, if you have any questions, you can reach out to my Facebook page. It has my cell phone number and my email on there. You can also send me a message. I'd love to hear from anybody if they have any ideas or if they have any concerns. I'd love to hear, so feel free to reach out.
Well, that wraps it up for this interview. Again, thank you, Ms. Tucker, for taking the time to meet with us, and good luck on the upcoming election.
Thank you.
Thanks, Evelyn. In related news, after screening many qualified candidates, the Greenridge School Board has announced that Mr. Brett Hieronymus will be the successor to Dr. Burkhart, as he has been named the superintendent of Greenridge Schools starting with the 2023-2024 school year. He is a K Senior Conference alumni who graduated from Northwest High School. He is currently at Sedalia Middle School, where he has served as the principal for the last 3 years.
We are excited to see what Mr. Hieronymus brings to our community. Earlier this week, our very own Ryan Hagedorn caught up with Mr. Hieronymus to ask him a few questions. Over to you, Ryan.
Thank you, Kaylee. I'm here with our new superintendent, Brett Hieronymus, and I'm asking him a few questions about his plans here. What is your vision for the school district and how do you plan to achieve it?
Great question. And I have to tell you, these are some very good questions. Did you students come up with these questions?
Cameron came up with these. Mr. Link
say,
edited them a bit.
You're supposed to take credit for that. So these are some very good questions. But yeah, the vision of the Greenridge 8 School District is a destination for world-class education for our learners today and leaders of tomorrow. So in my mind, there's two prongs to that. So your learners of today, the kids that are in school now, the ones coming up, first and foremost, and I have to concur with what the gentleman before me said, Greenridge does have a great reputation. You have great teachers, you have great staff, and you have a great community. But that, as superintendent, one of my main focuses too will be on teacher retention and recruitment, making sure that we keep the best teachers that we can get here for our kids and community here in Greenridge, and then also promote and want this to be a destination for teachers to come. So that's the learners now, and then the leaders of tomorrow. Very important as well. So the leaders of tomorrow are going to need some durable skills, and those are critical thinking, being able to work together, have the ability to negotiate, take initiative, and risk taking. So those are all things that I think are very important, that are all encompassed in the Greenridge R8 vision.
Okay. Next question. What strategies do you have in place to improve student achievement and ensure equitable educational opportunities for all students?
Great question again. So as I've been looking at data from the K-Singer Conference, which I'm a product of as well, I'm a Northwest Mustang coming up, and very proud now to be a Greenridge Tiger. Greenridge is very strong in academics across the K-Singer. If not the highest, second highest. Lincoln is up there as well. So looking at that data to see where we're at and keep the momentum going. There's a lot of great things what attracted me to Greenridge as well. But good is always the enemy of great. So being good is fantastic, but then how do we take that next step to being great? And again, I think we do that by supporting our staff, getting our best candidates in here, not only on the school board, but also educators that are able to grow and lead our students.
Okay. How do you plan to engage with parents, teachers, and other stakeholders to build strong partnerships and promote transparency in decision-making?
And that's very important. You have to have trust. And I know Greenridge is a very close-knit community, again, which is another reason that made this very a desirable place for me to come as well. So with that, being transparent is very important. I think first and foremost, as the superintendent of schools, you have to be visible. I have to be where the students and the community and parents are, whether that be at activities, whether it be sporting activities. You have a great band program, music program, and being at those events. Community events, I just saw last week where the fire department had a fish fry, I believe. But being present at those events and being out and about in the community that I'm serving, I think is very important.
All right. What steps do you plan to take to ensure that the district is fiscally responsible and transparent in its budgeting and financial decision-making?
Yeah, finance is a very important aspect too, and those are some of the challenges in education as we move forward as well. Dr. B, the outgoing superintendent, Dr. Burkhart, has done a fantastic job with the money in reserves and keeping Greenridge very viable financially, and that'll be my job to look to keep it that way. And then look at ways to grow the money coming in so we can retain and recruit educators and keep the educators we have, and then of course also expand the programs that are offered to our kids here at Green Ridge R8. So that is a big job, but like I said, I do my best to think outside the box, and with a very purposeful and reflective board and a lot of good people around me, I think we are up to that task. So.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Mr. Hieronymus, and we are
Thank you.
excited to have you here next year. Back
I'm
to you,
very excited
Kaylee.
as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Again, we want to thank Dr. Burkhart and congratulate her on her upcoming retirement. And we want to also congratulate Mr. Hieronymus on being hired to be the next Green Ridge Superintendent. Green Ridge will be in good hands.